The distress beacon had been broadcasting for 3 cycles when the Zinthari fleet detected it. Commander Vexthor chittered with satisfaction as his mandibles clicked together. Another primitive species to harvest, another world to strip of resources. The signal originated from a small research outpost on the edge of the Kepler expanse, a region the Zinthari had claimed as their hunting ground for decades. "Scan complete, Commander," his subordinate hissed. "Life signs detected. Species classification, Terran. Designation, human." Vexthor's compound eyes gleamed. Humans. The galaxy had whispered rumors about them. The Deathworlders from a planet so hostile that merely existing there was considered an extreme sport by civilized standards. But rumors were just that. Stories told by cowards who had never faced true predators like the Zinthari. "Prepare boarding parties," Vexthor commanded. "We take them alive. Deathworlder specimens fetch premium prices in the slave markets." What the Zinthari didn't know was that the distress beacon wasn't a cry for help. It was a warning. Leo checked his weapon for the 3rd time, his jaw clenched tight. The research station's corridors were dark, emergency lighting casting everything in angry red. Beside him, Mia worked on her tactical pad, her fingers flying across the holographic interface. "How long?" Leo asked, his voice barely above a whisper. 2 minutes until they breach," Mia replied, her green eyes never leaving the screen. "Maybe less. These bugs are faster than the intelligence report suggested." Leo allowed himself a grim smile. Intelligence. What a joke. Humanity's expansion into the stars had been met with hostility at every turn. The galactic community saw them as primitives, as violent apes who had no business leaving their gravity well. What they failed to understand was that Earth didn't breed weakness. It bred survivors. The station shuddered as something massive impacted the outer hull. Mia's fingers stopped moving. "They're in," she said. Leo nodded and activated his comm. "All stations, this is Shepard. Light them up." The Zinthari poured through the breached airlock like a chittering wave of exoskeletons and plasma weapons. They moved with the confidence of apex predators who had never known defeat. The first squad rounded a corner and found themselves in an empty corridor. Too empty. The explosion that followed wasn't large, just enough to collapse the ceiling and trap them in a section of the station. Then the lights went out completely. "What is this?" Vexthor screamed into his comm. "Report, all units report." Static answered him. Then, through the interference, he heard something that made his ichor run cold. Laughter. Human laughter. "You picked the wrong prey, bug," a voice said through the station's intercom. Leo's voice. "You want to know why they call us Deathworlders? Let me educate you." Mia watched the tactical display as the Zinthari forces scattered, trying to regroup. They were used to overwhelming their victims with numbers and superior firepower. What they weren't prepared for was an enemy that had evolved in an environment where everything, from the microbes to the megafauna, was trying to kill them. Humans didn't just survive Earth, they thrived on it. They conquered it. She activated the next sequence. Gravity in sections 3 through 7 increased to 2.5 G, Earth standard. For the Zinthari, accustomed to their low-gravity homeworld, it was like being crushed by an invisible hand. Their exoskeletons, designed for agility, became prisons. Leo moved through the corridors like a ghost, his enhanced reflexes products of growing up in 1G. Each Zinthari he encountered was dispatched with brutal efficiency. No wasted movement, no hesitation. The raiders had expected frightened researchers. Instead, they found trained soldiers who had grown up on a world where a simple fall could break bones, where the atmosphere itself was corrosive to most species, where apex predators still roamed. "Section 4 clear," Leo reported. Moving to Section 5. Mia's fingers danced across her pad. "Be advised their command ship is moving into firing position. ETA on reinforcements?" Leo glanced at his chronometer. 12 minutes. We just need to hold. "Then let's give them hell." She rerouted the station's life support, flooding sections with the oxygen-rich atmosphere humans preferred. For the Zinthari, it was intoxicating, disorienting. They stumbled through corridors that humans navigated with ease, their respiratory systems struggling with the concentration. Vexthor finally understood. These weren't helpless prey. This was an ambush. The distress beacon had been bait, and he had led his fleet directly into a trap. "Retreat," he commanded. "All units fall back to the ships." But it was too late. The first human warship dropped out of FTL with the subtlety of a meteor strike. The UHNS Indomitable was a Titan-class destroyer, bristling with enough firepower to crack a moon. It was followed by 5 more, their sensors locked onto the Zinthari fleet. Captain Sarah Chen's voice crackled across all frequencies. "Attention Zinthari vessels. You have violated Terran space and attacked a human installation. You have 10 seconds to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will be met with overwhelming force." Vexthor stared at his tactical display in horror. 6 human warships against his 12. But the tonnage, the sheer size of the human vessels, it was insane. What species built ships that massive? What kind of industrial capacity did these Deathworlders possess? He found out when the Indomitable opened fire. Leo and Mia stood in the observation deck as the last Zinthari ship limped away, its engines barely functional. The rest of the Raider fleet was debris, scattered across local space like confetti. "Think they learned their lesson?" Mia asked, allowing herself a small smile. Leo shrugged. "Probably not, but word will spread. They came for easy prey and found apex predators. Let them tell the galaxy what happens when you mess with humans." Mia nodded, watching as the Indomitable moved into a protective orbit around the station. Humanity had only been in space for a century, but they had already earned a reputation. Not as diplomats or traitors, but as the species you didn't provoke. Because Earth had taught them well. In a universe full of predators, humans had learned to be the apex. The distress beacon continued to broadcast, but its message had changed. Not a call for help, but a warning to any who would listen. Here there be Deathworlders. And Deathworlders protected their own. The end.